Welcome back, everyone. Very good morning to all present in the class. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, based on the location. So we shall start the journey of web applications. In order to develop the web application, Spring gives one of the amazing module, Spring Web MVC. And it's easier to develop this with the Spring Boot is what we have seen it, right? Whenever for a web application, a application which is internet based, only if there is internet networking, you can access that application. For such application, to send the request from your machine to the machine where the application is kept, which is a server machine, a server where your application is kept, which should be active 24/7. We follow some protocols, and the protocols which we follow is HTTP to transfer the information from client to server, server to client. And we have HTTP methods. We have HTTP methods. The popular methods which everyone must know is how many type of HTTP requests are there, my dear friends? First of all, get, post, put, patch, delete. These are popular, but we have little more. Yep. Now, whenever you want to get the information, whenever you want to retrieve the information, if a client is retrieving the information from the server, from server means from the application, we go with get request. The protocol which will be followed is get. Whenever you are sending some crucial information in the form or something, or more information, post. Whenever you go for the update part, put and patch comes into picture. Whenever you want to delete something, it is delete request. And we have to discuss about all types of request. We shall be seeing it. Now, coming back to the application which we have developed here. Okay, allow me a minute. I'll go and open this. In our application number 1, our controller method was binded to a particular endpoint, and that endpoint was we were using one annotation called as request mapping. The default protocol which request mapping follows is get request. That means only if you want to send the information from the server to the client, only then you can use that. So the default protocol of request mapping annotation is get. I'll go here. You can see request mapping. And till from the Spring 1 to Spring 4, the situation was for any type of request, we had only one annotation, request mapping. And then we used to specify separately by adding some of the attributes here. For this, I would like to add the attribute value. And then I would like to go back here. I'll say here, please see very carefully. Method equals to request. I'll say here request method dot. If I say, are you getting guys different type of methods? Delete, get, patch, post, put. Now, if I want it to be get request, I'll say get here. So what was the annotation which is used to bind different type of HTTP request in our controller methods? It is request mapping. For any type of HTTP request, whether it is a get request, post request, patch request, or the delete request, it was only request mapping using the attributes we used to specify. Guys, writing the first attribute for this endpoint is optional. But remember, in any annotation in that way, if you are passing more than one value, multi-values, then writing becomes compulsory. Example, suppose we don't have this right now. Suppose I don't have this. I would like to copy this. I don't have this. Now, if you write it, it's good. Good practice. If you don't write it, no problem. Not a compulsory. But suppose if I'm adding this, then you cannot leave this direct value without any attribute. Compulsory, you have to add the attribute. This is not just for request mapping. It is generally for any annotation in that matter. Is that clear to everyone? All of you? Now, from this Spring 1 to Spring 4, which is a common annotation to bind any HTTP request which is used? Request mapping. All of you present in the class? Now the story changes. When the story changes, if you ask me, from the Spring 4 onwards. From the Spring 4 onwards, the story changes. To bind the request, to bind our method, I'll say to bind our controller method, to bind our method to get request, HTTP get request, we have introduced one annotation called as get mapping. To bind our method to maybe I'll say here post request, HTTP post request, we have post mapping. Are you all getting it? Everyone present in the class? Yes, no, maybe. Some answers from all of you. To bind it to put request, what is the annotation name? Put mapping. To bind it to patch mapping, patch request. I'll say to bind it to delete, I will say delete mapping. Are you all getting it? All this can also be managed by, all this can also be managed by, I will say here, request mapping. And we used to specify a request mapping. The value attribute, the endpoint value equals to endpoints, and then method equals to request method dot post comma put comma get so and so. Or maybe I'll say here like this, so that you should not feel all of them can be written in one. Okay. Now, when I have used the request mapping, my dear friends, when I have used the request mapping, please see to the code. Did I get any compile time error? Did I get any compile time error? Did I get any runtime error? That means even today in the Spring 6 version, the latest version, is it deprecated to use request mapping? Is it deprecated? Not deprecated. But what is recommended whenever you have a newer approach and the older approach, which one you would choose? Suppose if I'm gifting you an iPhone, I'll give you an option to choose between iPhone 5s and iPhone 16. Of course, you'll go with iPhone 16, right? Is it like if you use iPhone 5s, you'll not make any calls, you cannot capture the images? Is it something as such? No. You can do whatever you want there also. But which one is better? Which one is with extra features? Which one is more secure? It is iPhone 16. Same goes here. Whenever you have a latest approaches, then it is not recommended to go with the older approach. Now, same thing I will write once again here. Same thing I will write once again. The end point which I'll be giving here is, maybe I'll say here, display some response to. Okay. I'll say here, enjoy telescope learning. Enjoy telescope learning. And I'll go back here and say get mapping. Why get mapping? Whenever you are giving the information from your server, from your application to the client, always it is a get request. Whenever you are taking some information, a larger information, it is a post request. Whenever someone is updating the existing information, patch or put request. Whenever someone want to delete something client, that is a delete. This is get request. Get request means client is not making any changes in your application. You are giving some information to the client. It is always get request. Since I am giving some information, it is get mapping. And the end point I'll give here is maybe whatever. I'll say here welcome to. Welcome to. Like this also you can write. You can write with this. Both of them are same. I would like to go back here. Run my application number 1. I'll deploy my application. I would like to deploy my application here. Right click. Run as Java application. But it will be automatically deployed in embedded Tomcat server is what we have discussed on Friday's class. The application is successfully deployed in the port number. What is the port number I have given? I think I have changed 8484. What is the default port number, guys, for the embedded Tomcat server? But right now 8484 is what I have given. And what is the endpoint? Welcome to is the endpoint. I'll go back. I'll go back here and say HTTP localhost 8484 / welcome to. Guys, I hope you are able to see the message. Hello, welcome to enjoy the telescope learning. Yeah, all of you. Fine. I'm getting the somewhere endpoints or something is missing. Missing Srini Prava. Okay. Now let's develop the application number 2 and try to understand more on this. I would like to close this part for now. I would like to open my application number 2. All right. Go here and develop application number 2. I'll not say first, I'll say Spring Web App 2. Great. I'll go here. In my resources, I have application.properties. Within the properties, we have told directly prefix. I will create one page called as view page. Inside the view page, I will create my JSP pages. So I'll go back here. Web app. I'll not directly create this. I would like to delete this JSP page. I'll go back in my web app. I'll right click. I'll say new. I'll create a new folder there. Folder name, I'll give it as view. Whatever you want, I'll give it as view. And within the view page, I'll create whatever pages I want. Any pages. It's your choice. You are the boss. Maybe I'll create one JSP page of home.jsp. What to write here, we will see to it. Coming back to the application. This is our application and this is our controller. And we have written the controllers in this style. I would like to remove this for now. We have seen that already. I would like to say here only welcome. Great. All of you present in the class, see very carefully. Here we ourselves is creating model and view object. If you don't want to do that, we have one more option available. I would like to recreate this once again. wherein return type I'll not give as model and view object. Rather, return type I'll give it as string. And maybe I'll say here display some response. Maybe 2. This is display some response. Okay. Now I myself will not create this. I would like to accept model object. At the time of object creation, I want one class to be injected. Guys, this method am I calling, or it will be invoked by front controller dispatcher servlet based on the request coming up from the client? Did I invoke these methods, guys? Did I invoke this method anywhere? So based on the request receiving and based on the information dispatcher servlet have, but depending on the handler mapper, who is the one who will give this information that this is a particular method for a specific endpoint? It is handler mapper. So based on the information, dispatcher servlet will invoke this method. All of you? It will only inject this particular part. So I need not to take care of it. Now I would like to just go back here. I will return the logical view name. The logical view name I would like to return is home. Okay, all of you. I would like to just say here we don't have index for now. I would like to just go back. Right now we don't have any this thing, guys. Okay, this part we have already seen. I would like to erase. I will say here home. Earlier what we used to do it? We used to create model and view object, and then we used to add that within this model and view object, and we used to return model and view object. It's not needed. This is also available. Right now, what is the discussion if you ask me? How and all we can write the controller methods which are binded to different requests. All the possible ways to write a method which handles the request and gives the response. That is one possible way. One more possible way, directly you can return the logical view name, and using the model you can add the attribute actual model data. I'll say model dot. We have something called as add attribute in the form of key value pair. I will give the key here. Whatever key you want you can give. Maybe the key I would like to give is whatever you feel like. You are the boss. Any key in that matter. I'll say here message, some message, and or some information is the key. I'll say here information, and I would like to give some information. Okay, we have fast track, spring batch, spring boot batch, next weekend. Okay. Some information, whatever random information I'm giving it. Finish. Now, this is lightweight code, or whatever we have written earlier, that is lightweight code, guys. Which one is more easier? Option number 2, very light here. And see here directly get mapping I'm using. If I use request mapping, will there be any problem? No problem. But recommended to go with the get mapping. See, control method is there for the message welcome. All of you. Now I would like to check on my console that who will implement this. See, if I have to open this, right click, open the declaration. It is an interface. If it is an interface, some implementing class must be there, right? It is an interface. All of you present in the class. Some implementing class must be there. That is what I would like to discuss here. I'll say system.out.println. I will say here model is internally implemented by. I would like to just go back here and say model dot. I will just say here get class dot get name. There is one class called as binding aware model map. That is the implementation of this, and I would like to show you that. Home.jsp right now, I don't have anything. I would like to go to my home.jsp, and I just want to write some basic code here, whatever you feel like. I will say here maybe Telesco learning. as the title, and maybe I'll say here h1 tag. Within the h1 tag, I would like to add this. I will say here maybe dollar symbol, and what is the key, guys? Key which we have given there is I think information is the key. Okay, I'll come back to this home.jsp. I will add this information. If you want, you can give some good looks and feel. Inline styling. Inline styling, the front end guys, will you all help me here? Yes, no. I will say a color, whatever color you feel like. I would like to give red. Then I will say here text align. Text align equals to center. I would like to save this. Go back to my application. Right click. Run as Java Spring Boot application. Okay. Controllers we have here. Welcome. Okay, great. So I would like to go back. Guys, right now, whatever message is there here, is it getting printed on your console right now? No. If you're not getting that message printed here, that means this method is not yet invoked. Now, dispatcher servlet will invoke this controller methods only if there is a request on this endpoint. Yes or no? So right now I have not yet made a request to this endpoint. So there is no message here. This method is not yet invoked. So now I would like to just go here and make a call to this particular request. I will say welcome. Oops. I'll go back here. I'll say welcome. We have fast track Spring Boot Bash next weekend. Are you getting the response? All of you? Yep. I'll go back here. Now I would like to go back and create one more controller. I will give the name of the controller as second controller. Second controller. And with this, I would like to ask one question to all of you. Second controller is what I have given. One question to all of you. Can we create multiple controllers within one application? The answer is 100% yes. Now guys, both the controllers have one common endpoint. Will it work? Controller 1 also is binded. We have one control method which is binded to welcome. And here also we have which is binded to welcome. I would like to go back here and maybe here I will say here. Okay. I will say here. We are coming up with AWS course. AWS course. Okay, for example, or DevOps code. Or the course name must be DevOps with AWS. Okay. I would like to go back here and run this application. First of all, I have to stop. And before stopping, I forgot to show you guys. Model is internally implemented by which class? Binding aware model map. All of you are able to see this. So on behalf of us, internally, the model and view object will be created. Right? So a lot of abstractions when it comes to the Spring framework, which so many things internally will implement it just to support you. Now I would like to stop my server because application you have to get it down if you are making any changes in your controller. I would like to just go back and run this application. See guys, are you not getting here one exception, illegal state exception, bean creation exception? Everyone? Ambiguous mapping. Are you able to see this? Ambiguous means ambiguity is confusion. Ambiguous mapping refers to confused mapping. cannot map the second control method. Both of them are same. But I would like to give here as 2. I'll save it and again I'll redeploy. Will there be any problem right now? I would like to go back to this. I'll say welcome. If I say welcome, I'm getting this. I'll go and say welcome to. I'll say welcome to. We are coming up with DevOps with AWS course. All of you present in the class. So the next question is, can we create multiple controllers? Can we create multiple controllers within one application? The answer is yes, we can create it. Can we have the controller methods with same endpoint in one controller or in another controller? Can we have? We cannot have that. Now guys, we can have in one condition. If there is a class level URL mapping, what if we give same endpoint name in different controllers, but the class level, I think we should give a unique path. That is what I was about to say. I was saying someone has said the same thing. So we can have, if it is a class level URL mapping, class level means at the class level also you can add the mapping. But class level mapping can be added by using only one annotation. You cannot use get, post, delete or put. Inside one class, you can write methods for different HTTP requests. So for which you cannot write different annotations at the class level. Whenever you're writing the class level URL mapping, the mustn't should use one annotation called as request mapping. Request mapping. And the URL which I'll give here is maybe whatever. Telescope. Now I would like to go here. Writing this is optional. Okay. I would like to go here and say here there is code 2. I would like to save this. Now guys, see, this is also welcome. This is also welcome, but class level URL is different. I would like to stop. Yes, application stop. I would like to go and deploy this. Deploy my application. I would like to go back. First of all, guys, if you make a request, can I directly make a request to the message right now? Welcome is there. I cannot make because I have a URL. I will say here telescope/welcome. See here. We have fast track Spring Boot Bash next weekend. I will say here telescope 2. Telescope 2. And again, I will hit the enter key. See, we are coming up with the DevOps with AWS course very soon in the month of December or January. All of you present in the class. These are the very fundamentals of fundamentals, guys. I hope all of you could able to understand this. Yes. Great. When to use the post request, I will discuss, because to read the data. Post is to receive the data. Patch and put is to update the data. Delete is to delete the data. We will see all of them. But right now we're just giving the information to the client. And how we can write the controller methods is what we are looking at here. Fine, every one of you. Yep. Any issues to anyone? I'll go back here and write one more. And I'll give here as any endpoint of your own choice. I'll say maybe skill. Display some message, important message. And I would like to give here as focus as the key, and the message, the data, the model data. I would like to give it as focus is the most important skill. And I will redirect to one more endpoint, which is focus. One more front page, which is focus. I'll go back here. right click, new, JSP page. I will say here focus. Whatever is there, I would like to keep it as it is. Inside this also. Maybe here I will say blue. And maybe here I will say focus. So can we write multiple controller methods within one class? The answer is yes, we can do that. Right click, run as. What is the endpoint for this? Skill. Okay, I'll say right click, run as Java Spring Boot application. I would like to just go back to my application. And guys, message, it is working fine. No problem. I will say Telesco message or welcome. It is working fine. And now I'll go with and say here skill. Focus is the most important skill. All of you present, yes, no, maybe. Everyone. So good. The type of the request can differ, guys. In one controller class, you can write multiple methods binded to different types of requests. There is no problem. Suppose if I write here one more time, guys, I want all of you to answer me this. Maybe message to I'll say. Now both of them are binded to get request. Both of them are binded to get request. And both of them endpoints are binded to skill. Is it allowed, guys? As per discussion so far. Is it allowed? It is 100% not allowed. But if I bind to a different type of request, it is allowed. There is no problem here. Because it is binded to post request to receive the information. It is binded to give the information, which is get request. Now post request, we have to receive some information. Right now I cannot discuss. In the web application, you should have a form. In the normal application, it should be a JSON data. Postman tool or Swagger UI. I will send the data. We shall see that in depth. Okay, I would like to comment this right now. But we can have it. We can have same endpoints. In what scenario we can have same endpoints for the multiple controller methods is the interview asked question. In what scenario we can have same endpoint for multiple controller methods? What is your answer, guys? First of all, your answer must be it is not recommended to have same endpoint for multiple control methods. However, if the requests are binded to different HTTP methods, it is allowed. So your answer must be, first of all, it is not recommended to have same endpoint for multiple control methods. However, it is possible in a scenario wherein we can have multiple controller methods the same endpoint, but they are binded to different HTTP method. This is binded to which HTTP method, guys? Get. This is binded to post. In this way, it is allowed. Is that also clear to everyone? All good, everyone present. Now, my dear friends, all of you. This usually no one writes, but I usually write in this style. See, there is something called as invasive application. There is something called as non-invasive application. Can anyone tell me what is invasive or non-invasive? Anyone in the class? Invasive and non-invasive application. No idea. Others in the class? Not even one? Security, maybe third party sharing, maybe. See, invasive means it is tightly coupled with the third party frameworks or technology which you are using. Right now, guys, this model and view object, you are inheriting from where, guys? You are importing from the where? So this is Java application you are developing. You are just using the Spring framework. So right now, it is invasive application. It is tightly bonded with the third party. The entire application is controlled by Spring framework. Agree? But any application you can develop with less dependency on the third party. Spring will give you that option. I would like to just open this model, guys. I would like to open this model. I'll say right click, open the type hierarchy. See here, extended model map we have. This is the class I have told, right? Which is implementing internally to create model and view object. All of you. Binding aware model map. Binding aware model map is extending what? Extended model map. I would like to import, open this. Extended model map is implementing what? Model map and model. I would like to import this. I would like to go back and close this model. And I will import this model map. Model map is extending what? Linked hash map. Linked hash map is hash map. It is family of map finally. So key value pair means which concept usually comes into picture, guys, in any world? Key value pair means it is a map. Behind the scene, if I'm adding some data in the form of key value, so somewhere behind the scene, the concept of map comes into picture. Yes, no, maybe. And I have opened and showed you the hierarchy also. All of you. I would like to develop this. I would like to develop this once again, but maybe I'll say here some important information. I will not write here model. This part I will not write. Logical return type, that's fine. But I will not write here model. Rather, I will say map. The key I have decided to give in the form of string. Object also I can say string here itself. You know the concept of generics. But I would like to say maybe any type of data. Object. Any type of data. I will say here map. All right. And now, my dear friends, I will say map dot. Do we have add attribute or do you have put method? Put method. Key I will give in the form of maybe I'll say here info, and the value I'll give in the form of maybe something. DevOps with AWS will start from Git and Linux and covers advanced concept to advanced concepts. Okay. Covers the advanced concepts. I would like to just add it. I would like to save this. Done. I'll go back here to my application. My dear friends, I will not say skill. I will say here info is the end point. Okay. I'll go back, maybe not focus. Let's have one more method here. Whatever method, whichever you want. Maybe I'll say here JSP page, separate JSP page, which is maybe I'll say here Telescope JSP page. Telescope JSP page. And I'll give it as Telescope learning. Telescope learning. And within this, I would like to add the same code as this, with some difference with respect to the colors. And I'll give it as info. Guys, whenever you make any changes in your controllers, right, in your Java code, always you have to stop your server. Your application has to be redeployed in order to see the effect. I want to redeploy my application on the server computer, and Tomcat is a software which you are using. Right now, my computer is only server. Okay. Run as the Java application. I would like to run this. Kindly see, guys, it is deployed. I'll go back to the browser. And all of this all will work now. No problem. It is working. I would like to go and say here info. It is info. If I hit this enter key, oops. We are not getting this. Did I not bind it to this thing, get mapping? I'll go back to my controller number 1. Oh, sorry guys. I have not redirected it to what is the name of the page, Telesco, right? See, whenever there is one dependency called as DevTools, if you add that DevTool dependency, whenever you make any changes in your controller methods, automatically the application will be redeployed. That option is available in the Spring Boot application. So whenever you're developing a web application, REST APIs, if you add the DevTools, any changes you make in your service or any of the Java code, the entire application will be redeployed and you can see that automatically. If not, you have to manually redeploy every time. I would like to just run this application and go back to the browser. After browser, I will see just to see first skill part. It is giving us result. I'll go and see here info. See, DevOps with AWS will start from Git and Linux and covers advanced concepts. This course is really in plan, guys. Okay. It is under the verifications because the end goal of this course should be to give you the real time usage of this, not just the certification part. The focus will not be on certification, the focus on the part of real, wherein I have planned almost 10 classes on Linux, 10 classes on Linux, 5 classes on Git and GitHub. So 15 classes will go on fundamentals itself. Okay. So let's see. Next endpoint will be map.fee. Fee will be 3k rupees. We'll plan accordingly. Okay. Free for us. Okay. We can give. Let's see. I don't mind. Okay. All right. Guys, this is done. I hope all of you are able to see this, everyone. It has to be seen. It is not in the month of November. It will be on the December end. Okay. Any issues here? Every one of you present? All good? Yes, no, maybe. So if you want, you can have I will not even return anything. I'm not returning means there is no return there, as if there is no value here. I will say here telescope. Guys, what is the page? Front end page telescope. Whenever JSP page and the endpoint have the same name, JSP page and endpoint has the same name, you need not to write logical return type also. Your front end file and the endpoint, if it is same name, need not to return logical view name. Usually this case will not arise, but option is available. The option is available if even though it is not being used. However, whenever you are using this with the same as the view page name, in that case, you cannot use request mapping. In that case, you cannot use request mapping. If you use request mapping, then this part of or this style of writing the controller methods will not work. I'll now go back and say telescope. I would like to save this and redeploy my application. I'll say run as Java application. I would like to go back here. Of course, it is telescope right now directly. I will hit this endpoint. Guys, are you getting this? So can we have a controller methods with the return type as void? Can we have our control methods with, yes, whenever the endpoint and logical view name matches. Whenever the endpoint and the logical view name matches, then you need not to give. But is it recommended? The answer is no. It is not recommended. But option is available. Now, dear friends, please do understand this part also. I'm using map here. And I want to see, guys, did I say a hash map or any of the implementing class name here? Did I use any of the implementing class name? No. Map is a Java, right? Java part. Dot, I will say, I would like to print and see what is the implementing class for the same. I will say map dot get class reflection API dot get name. Okay. I would like to save this. And if there is no call to this endpoint, this will not be executed, as you all know. And I have commented this telescope part. So directly you have to call info. If there is info, only then the dispatcher servlet will invoke these methods. So based on the request coming up, based on the endpoint binded to a method, dispatcher servlet will invoke that method. You need not to invoke. I'll go back to the browser. And in my browser, it's not telescope, it is info. So we are getting this information. DevOps with the AWS start from the Git and Linux covers the most advanced topics. I'll go back here. Guys, is it not the same class which was implementing the model also? Whether you have given the requirement using map or you have given the requirement using the model. Now, which is non-invasive? Map is non-invasive or model is non-invasive? Map. Which is loose coupled with the technology, which is a loose coupled with the framework Spring? It is map. But most of them are not aware that map can also be written. And in fact, if you write this, interviewer might get confused. Interviewer's ego might get hurt that you know something better than him and there is a high possibility of rejection. You go with model only. I have seen that. That you are writing something and all, you don't even know proper basics, he will say. Or maybe if he's clever enough, then his ego might hurt that someone coming up knows better than him. Avoid that. This situation comes up whenever newbies and fresher, with people with less experience takes the interview. Sometimes some of the interview parts with people with 1, 2, 3 years of experience, they also take the interview part and they get hurt very bad if you try to give some answers. Whenever a senior guy taking the interview, they don't care all these small issues. Their focus is different. And first of all, if you are an experienced, you should be knowing it. It is something, taking interview is very hard. People avoid. If you are a fresher, if you have 1, 2 years of experience, you may show the excitement to take the interview. But after a certain period of time, if HRs or a manager comes to you and asks you to take the interview, people try to run away. That we will not take, we will not take. That's the situation in the IT. But if someone with a less experience, with little less maturity, if they take the interviews, high possibility of they get the ego issues. Okay. So the more experienced interviewer guy, the better for you is what I personally feel. Okay. Great, guys. So this is the basics, fundamentals. All of you are okay with it? Everyone? There is something called as context path. Are you able to see this, guys? Whenever we have deployed the application, you have seen here, context path is empty. Context path means application name. Directly we are reaching to the controller class and controller method endpoints. It is not recommended. It is always recommended to give the context path, a name of the application in general, and then give the endpoint. That means if I have to go back here, any of the websites, let me open. I'll say telescope. Guys, are you able to see telescope if I say endpoints are coming after and before the endpoints, what is coming here? At the top, telesco.com, context path, name of the application. Only then learn, account, sign in endpoints are coming up. Yes. So there is high possibility that in one server with one port number, there could be multiple applications, or maybe in one server, there could be multiple application, high possibility. And if you just go to the endpoints, both the application may have same endpoint. It might create the problem. So context path, you have to give it. And how to define the context path is you have to go to the application.properties and you just have to add one simple property here, which is server.servlet.context path. I will go ahead and say here server dot servlet dot context path, whatever name of the path. I would like to give the context path as Telesco app, name of the application, or maybe I'll say Telesco app, whatever you want. I would like to save this. After saving, I'll redeploy my application. I'll go back here and redeploy this application. Right click, run as Java application. Now if I go to my browser, dear friends, okay, I'll say okay. If I have to go to my browser, directly info, it will not work. First, I have to go through Telesco app / I have class level URL mapping, which is Telesco. After which I have to go through whatever I want. I hope you all are able to understand this. See, then I'm getting this information. So it is Telesco app, class level URL mapping, recommended whenever you have multiple controllers. If you have single controller, then class level URL you can skip. Whenever you have a single controller, right, class level URL you can skip, not a problem. But context path, endpoint, this is class level, it is optional, depends on how many controllers you have in your application. If it is single, you can ignore it. But if you have multiple, highly recommended to have the class level URL binding. So now all the basic possible ways to write the controller methods, are they clear to everyone present in the class? Yes, no, maybe. That is different. Binding to the domain name is different. We can just see that also, Akash, at the end. I would like to stop this application and I want to show you one more application, but let's develop that application from the scratch, because I want to add the dev tools also. I'll open the Spring IO initializer, Maven, Java 3.3.4. I'll say Telesco. com.telesco as the basic application name. Let's give it as guys, I have discussed greeting application, right? Greetings web app. Greetings web app is the application. There is no problem in that, Chavan. The way to secure the APIs, we will see how to secure our APIs. I would like to go back here and var project, jar or var, no problem for a normal Spring Boot application. It's your call. I would like to go back here and add one dependency called as web dependency, Spring Web dependency. And what did I say, guys? DevTools provides fast application restarts. It is not compulsory to add, recommended to add just whenever you're developing the application, so that any small changes you make, you need not to stop the server and automatically, again, manually you have to redeploy. That situation will not come if you go with this DevTools part. Automatically, the application will be redeployed. I would like to just generate this application. I have not discussed Gradle, guys. You have to remind me whatever I may miss out, whatever you want. And if I have missed out, if you feel that is important, and if I have not covered that part, your responsibility to remind me. Don't directly complain that you have not done it. You feel that this is important, you have not covered, I will cover. Okay, it should be what do you say, it should not be mono, it should be two-way. Okay, you say, we will do it, it's together. We can have a discussion on any of the topics. We can fix one day not to teach any concept, just to have a discussion among the peers, to share each other's experience, what they do, what are they looking for. We can have one community building session also if you want. Like whatever you want, we can do it. Okay, now. I would like to just go and say finish. I would like to import it. The project is getting imported. How many of you feel that we should have one community session for this batch? Do we? It will be great. Uh, let's plan for that also. I'll go back and add this part, guys. Jasper to compile the JSP pages. I would like to go back here and add this dependency. Right click, update the POM. Most of them wants community. It is good to have, because in this batch also many working professionals with a great experience are also part of it. So it will be definitely beneficial. Okay. I'll go back to my Java resources application.properties. I would like to just take it from here. Get back to my application. My application will get back and I would like to add this. All right. Whatever is the port number, guys. And good to add one more is what I have told. One more dependency. It's good to add. What is that? Server dot servlet dot context path equals to, maybe the context path I'll say here, greeting app. I think this greeting app we have done many times, so code might be available already. But I want you to tell me the answer with respect to the multiple layers. I'll go and create two layers here. First is controller layer, web layer, you can say. And one more, I would like to go and create one more layer wherein I'll have the actual business logic of my application. I'll right click. I'll say maybe refresh first. I'll go and create one controller class here. Name of the class, I'll give it as greeting controller. Greeting controller. I would like to just go here and maybe I'll say here controller. All right, great. I'll go back and write the interface first. I will say here greetings. Greetings. I'll say finish. And within this, I would like to specify what task I want. Maybe I'll say here, even if you don't specify public, it is public. I'll say string type of, I'll say here, generate wish. Whatever is the method name you want. Okay, generate wish is what I have told. Maybe I'll give it as string type of name. We have not yet discussed how to take the data from the client to server. Right now, the discussion is happening how to send the data from here to there. Okay. I would like to just go back and write one implementing class. Name of the implementing class, I would like to give it as a greeting service. Greetings service. And here I will say it implements one interface. Implements I greeting. Greetings. All right. I have to add the unimplemented method. I would like to add it within this. I will generate. Could you please suggest me the stereotype annotation, guys? What is that? Service, right? Everyone in the class? Great. And I want to generate the wish based on the current time. I have to make use of local time class. But this I'll ask my Spring to inject. I will say here auto word. But Spring IOC container, does it have local time available, guys? Spring IOC container, does it have local time available? No. I'll go back and write the application into one more package called as config package. Are you understanding multiple layers I'm using right now slowly? I would like to go back to my config and write one simple class. I will say here date configuration, date time config. Within this, tell me the suitable stereotype annotation, my dear friends. Configuration. Good that fundamentally everyone is very strong. And I'll say public local time. Return type must be same as the object which you are creating, which you want to hand over to the Spring. Local time. And I would like to just go back here. Generate time. And within this, whatever is the method name, it should not be a problem. I will say return local time dot now. The real use of which annotation, guys? Which is the annotation I have to apply here? So whenever there are predefined classes which you want to hand over to Spring IOC container, do we have any other option other than using bean annotation? Can we go and modify those predefined classes and add the stereotype annotation at the top of those classes? No, it is not possible. Now I would like to go back here and I will say here, if in case, or maybe I'll say here, time dot get r, I will collect it within the integer type of r. And now I will just write the Can you enable mic for me? I have a doubt. Saichar, yes, you can talk at the end. Maybe you're new to the class. In between, you're asking you to enable the mic. What happens is, Saichar, like you in this Charan, maybe your name is. In this class, like you, there are others in the class, okay? Like you in between the class, I'm telling some concept in between only want to ask. Like you, if others are also have a doubt, example, 20 people have a doubt. If all of them ask in between the class only, 1.5 hours will get over. And at the end of the class, if someone asks, what did you learn in today's class? Sir was about to teach or Haider was about to teach something. Then someone asked some doubt. Then again, someone asked. Entire class and 20 people asked a doubt. That's what happened today. We didn't learn any new concept. Is it acceptable to you as a learner? No, right? So every day, if you are not aware of this, every day after the class, we have 30 minutes of time only to ask the doubt. Only to ask the doubt. Only to discuss with me. So once I say I'm done with today's discussion, you can talk to me. Is that fine? I hope you are able to understand the logic behind it. I will say if in case R is, allow me just next 5 minutes of time, 10 minutes of time, I'm ending this, you can discuss. If the time is less than 12, I will return good morning plus name. Else if the time is less than 16, I would like to return the same. Okay. Sorry, not time, it's R. I would like to just write this once again. If it is 20, what should be there? If it is else part, what should be there? I would like to say here afternoon. I will say here evening. I will say here night. I would like to go back, guys, to my controller part. And here I have to first auto wire. All of you are able to understand main method I am not using. I greetings, type greet service. All right. And I may have to auto wire. And I have one question to all of you. Let me see how many of you can answer that. But before that, let me write one controller methods. Public logical view name. I will say here generate wish, whatever method you want, you can give. And I will bind this method. I will bind this method to get mapping. And the endpoint, I'll give it as a greet. And I would like to say here, go with it. And now I will say greet service dot generate the wish. I'll pass some name. Name maybe I'll pass here as Sai Charan. Okay. I would like to just pass it. And now I would like to just store back the result within a form of string response or string type of info or message or greet or wish. And now I would like to just go back and say, I would like to accept a model or map. Anything is fine. Let me go with model only because I don't want you to suffer because of some illegible freshers, newbies, interviewers. Because I myself have seen, I could able to understand one of the company when I gave the first round of interview, I could able to understand based on my answer how the interviewer were panicking. And at the end of the day, I didn't even got the further rounds only. I realized that maybe I would have acted so much by looking at the interviewer's behavior, that newbie, because he got hit very badly. I would like to just add the key as wish and the actual data which I want to add this information. Maybe the message which I would like to give here is greetings, whatever. This is the data I want to give it. And I will say here return, maybe the endpoint is greet. Or maybe I'll say greeting. Anything is fine. I'll go back to my main web app. I'll create one JSP page. And JSP page, I'll give it as greeting. Greetings, right? Within this JSP page, I would like to just specify H1 and maybe wish is the key, right? Wish is the key, right? I'll go back to my controller. Okay, wish is the key. Great. If you want, you can add some stylings here, guys. That's depends on your need. So if you want, let me add that good styling also. If you feel I should be adding it. All right. Any styling. Let's add in the blue color. Inline styling, inline CSS. How many of you are very good at CSS in this class, guys? Is there anyone who is expert in CSS in this class? Expert in this is good enough. In this class, is there anyone who is good enough? HTML, CSS part. So I'll give you one backend web for your batch. Could you please design front end for that? Or maybe I'll do something in the class. I want Dilip you to do something other than that, whatever existing front end I'm using. Because that was also generated by one of the student long back. 1 year back, one student had given me that front end. Maybe let's use something else for your batch. Okay, I want you to generate if it is possible. It's not a big application, so you can do it. Guys, are you understanding here multiple layers of the application? Of course, we don't have DAO. I'll come back to that part. But this is fine, right? Right click. Let me see the controller. We have greet. Okay, right click, run as the Java Spring Boot application. I'm deploying the application here. And please kindly notice here, application is deployed in 8484 and the context path is greeting app. Context path is greeting app. I'll go back. So I'll go back here and it is 8484 is the port number, context path is greeting app and the endpoint is greet. And if I just hit this enter key, good morning Sai Charan. because current time where I'm taking the class is morning less than 12, so only we are getting good morning. So multiple layers of an application and what exactly happens. Fundamentals of Spring MVC. Is it clear to everyone present in the class? All of you? Yes, no, maybe? Guys, in the tomorrow's class, we shall discuss very important. I could have discussed that in the RESTful services only, but anyway, let's discuss in tomorrow's class that we have seen how to send the information from our server, from our application which is residing on the server, residing on our server, how to send that information we have seen. Now we have to see how to get that information from our client, from our end user. From our end user, how to get the information. Three ways are there. Can you show the implementer class once? In this implementer class, where I have written Deepti? Oh, you want to see that service? Okay. How to take the user? We have the option of form. We have an option of query parameter, query param. We have an option of path param. The real use of query param and path param you can see only once we discuss RESTful services, but I will discuss tomorrow itself this. So first I will discuss query parameter, path parameter, then we shall discuss about the form. And after discussing about the form, we will develop an application with the front end JSP, HTML, CSS, and theme leaf. And then we shall start the REST APIs. In the REST APIs only, I can show you how can be the front end Angular or React. Okay. So we'll integrate with Angular and React also. So tomorrow's class, most probable discussion will be query parameter and path parameter. Before that, how to send the data in that. Right now, what type of data we are sending, guys? Only one string type of basic data. What if there is a Java object which I want to send it to the client? Right? What if there are multiple objects which I want to send it? So that application I will develop and followed by query and path parameter. And day after tomorrow's class, we will see on the form tags. Okay. Now, I would like to open this, the business logic, which you want to say is this one. Great. A basic business logic. Basic structure of the application, multiple layers of an application. Allow me next to 2 minutes of time, my dear friends. In 2 minutes of time, I will share you these files. After 2 minutes, Sai Charan or whoever had the doubts, they can ask me the question of your own choice. Okay. So just 2 minutes of time is what I need here. And then whoever want, they can talk to me. Okay. Allow me just 2 minutes of time. Right click. I'll just compress these files to zip. I'll go back to down and we do have Spring's web app to zip. And let me go back to my board work. I will say right click, action. I will say here web app class 2 board work. Ganesh, you are reminding, everyone is reminding. I don't know. I'm really sorry, guys. Today and tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll definitely share. I have that somewhere. I have kept it. If not, I will check in my old batches, which I have shared with them. Very basic applications is what we have covered. These are very fundamentals of MVC. So we shall discuss more on this. All right, I'm open for the questions. Who is that Sai Charan? Is it still there in the class? You want to ask me something? So please raise the hand. Raise your hand. Yeah, Sai Charan, please do talk me.
Yeah, hi there, Khan. I'm very excited to speak with you. Like, I like all your videos, and most
Thank
often
you.
I see your videos in the YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Good to
Like,
see. Now you have joined the
can
batch late, is it?
sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, today only I joined this batch. Actually, earlier I was trying to join, but I couldn't join because of my busy schedule. So that's what. Finally, now I have enough time, so that's why I joined. Even batch has gone. Already you completed some of the course, and still, I can go back to recorded videos, and I
Still
will.
1.5 to 2 months of course is there. You can still watch the recorded videos. It's not yet over.
Yeah, so like today is my first day with Spring Boot. Like earlier, I tried to create Spring Boot project, but I got some errors while creating. Even project couldn't run properly. I was getting a lot of errors. So if you can, if you want, I can share my screen. Can you help me to
Uh,
create the project? If you can help
no,
me to create the project which runs successfully, I could practice somewhat.
see, I want you
So
to do it by watching the videos, follow the same path, it will work. Screen sharing option will be available only on Saturdays if you can join at 5 p.m. If you could just mail me on Saturday, I can share you a link 5 p.m. separately.
Mhm,
And if you
mhm.
want to screen share it and discuss with me, just mail it to me, nazaficor@gmail.com. On Saturday, I will share you a link 5 p.m. Indian time.
Okay.
And you can share the screens and all of that. It is separate dedicated doubt session.
Oh, on Saturday, that session
5
will be
p.m.
only for.
Now also doubt session is there, but screen sharing option is not there. It is like mostly to discuss and to what is happening in the class. And because it is a webinar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if you watch all the videos properly from the scratch, you should be able to create the project by following the steps. So I have discussed how to create projects for the Spring application without boot, with Spring Boot also, without Spring Boot also, how to create the projects. I've already discussed in the videos. Have you followed all the ways correctly?
No, actually, still I have not received recorded videos. So, like when I connected
Then you
with the
watch it,
guy,
no? You watch it, you will get to know how to create the project by default. And if you want, if you are in hurry to complete the project, I mean the course, you can watch the recorded video in 1.5x speed. Example, if there is a 1 hour video, you can complete in half an hour.
no, nothing like that. Like, so not only like I went like I saw a lot of videos in the YouTube, but still I couldn't create a good
Don't follow
Spring Boot
YouTube.
project.
Forget now you have paid for the course. You are in the paid course. So we have discussed in our class how to create the projects with Spring Boot, without Spring Boot in our live classes many a times. So
Mhm.
you just watch the videos which we have covered so far to align with the course. Directly jump in between, no, it will create a problem for you to get the clarity of the concept.
Yeah,
So
and
all of them who
also
are there in the class, no, you could see the chat, the way they are responding. If they are responding like this, that means they have understood everything. And if you want to be
mm,
also a confident in understanding everything, watch from the scratch.
yeah, like I have one more doubt related to this at the rate of configuration.
Hmm.
So like as far as like Spring Boot can configure objects automatically inside the inversion control container.
But
So
sometimes you may have to do your own configurations. There is a reason you have to go with this. And what is the use of configuration? Also, I have discussed in my previous classes.
yeah, but can
Example,
you can you
example,
give me
there is a class
some
here.
instance?
There is a class here.
Yeah,
This is a predefined class.
yeah.
I'm creating the object. New date and time API it is.
Mm-hmm.
I want my Spring to inject here.
Yeah.
Now, if Spring has to inject it, it should be a part of Spring IOC container.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, this class, do I have access? Can I open it? Can I modify? See, if Spring want any class to be considered as in the IOC container, then you have to add stereotype annotation at the top of the class. But this is a predefined class of Java. Can I
Mm-hmm.
modify it? Can I go and add the stereotype annotation at the top of this class? Can I open this predefined class which is coded by Spring team? Can I go at the
No,
top
no.
of this class? No, I cannot make any changes there. So in that case, I have myself created it, and using the bean annotation, I have hand over to Spring IOC container that look, I have created the object, consider this as a bean. The moment I have told this, Spring will consider this as a bean. And Spring IOC container has this object now. And the moment I say auto-var, automatically this will be injected here. And
Oh,
if you
no, no,
don't do this here, it will not work.
no. Actually, using the at the rate of component, objects will be created by Spring automatically and they are
No,
kept
it's
inside
more
it.
than that. That is the reason I'm telling no, whatever YouTube knowledge you have, I request you to delete that knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And this
Yeah.
course is well structured and well organized and well defined.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
one request is to watch from the scratch. You will be very
Okay.
much confident. All of your ambiguities will go out.
Okay.
And you can watch it from the scratch. Watch it in 2x speed since you already have some idea, fundamental idea about here and there. So what you can do is you can watch all the videos of this pre-recorded class which are already been completed in
Mhm.
1.5x speed. You can watch, or 2x speed you can watch, and understand all the concept which we have covered till yesterday, till the
Yeah.
last class. It will
Okay.
make sense to you by default. See, I
Okay.
have not written these annotations. I have asked the audience, like, which annotation should I tell here? Students were telling service. I have written the class. I have told them which annotation should I use. They were telling configuration. So I didn't even say anything. All which I have written here, not even one code I have written by myself. I have asked the audience. They told me this. I was just coding it. I hope you were able to
Yeah. Yeah.
understand. So you
Yeah.
will
Yes.
also be
Yes.
in that position.
Mhm.
So because there was no prerequisite for this, if you know Java, that is only prerequisite. Rest of
Yeah.
all, from the scratch we started, and it's my responsibility to give you the confidence and clarity of the concepts. The
Yeah.
agenda is, see, Spring is very vast. If I have to discuss everything of the Spring, I have to have separate 6-7 months only for the Spring. The
Mhm.
end goal here is to make everyone confident and versatile in the entire framework, that if there are any modules, anything to be learned in future, they themselves can learn automatically without extra efforts. So
Mhm.
my job is to make you confident in the Spring framework, clear your fundamentals, make your fundamentals very strong, and make you a versatile Spring Boot developer, wherein if there is a need arises, things can be understood by yourself automatically from anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's from
Yeah.
the scratch is what I would suggest. Okay.
Yeah. And also, like, can you share your WhatsApp number, something like that? I-
No, I cannot. I have, unfortunately, my number was leaked in the previous batches. I have to show you my one of my number where 756 unread messages are there. Because for you it is only me, but for me it is n number of students which I have trained.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have, if I am not replying, they're getting offended. If I reply, I don't have time. Example,
Yeah. Yeah.
right now I'm in class. If someone is texting, I cannot reply, and they're telling me, why are you not replying? Please reply, please reply. How can I reply?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
Okay. Then,
We have
like,
community
answer.
section on the dashboard, or we have a Discord group also. For all
Oh.
the batch students are there in the Discord group, Java Discord group. The link is there in all the Telesco videos. Any Telesco video, YouTube video, if you go in the description, there is a link for the Discord. If you click it, if you
Okay.
join, there is a Java group where all the Java batch of Telesco people are there in this.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is also good way to
Yeah.
discuss with the peer Java developers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Then, like, I will go through the videos, and if I have any doubts, I will connect
Anytime you
with
can
you.
come and ask me. After
Yeah.
8:15, you can join the class. You can ask me.
Yeah.
And apart from this, you can ask, if you have something, you can just mail me. I will share the link on Fridays. Okay,
Yeah.
Fridays
Okay.
session.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sir.
Yeah. How will you make two ambiguity URL working in the same Spring without changing the HTTP method type? So changing will be accepted in the URL as well. The question is asked in the interview. How can I ask? How can you make two ambiguity URL working on the Spring Boot app without changing the HTTP method type? And no change will be accepted in the URL as well. As well, uh, by writing, see how to make two ambiguity working on the Spring Boot app without changing a HTTP method. Okay. You are trying to say that same controller, same type of where is that controller here? You are trying to say that same controller, same type of request, and same URL also. That means you cannot even change the Anil Tripathi. What do you say? Class level also you cannot change, is it? Let me see to it, okay? What is this question all about? Maybe I'll just try to discuss that tomorrow. There is one more question coming up. On the service, if I use it, guys, repository I've used at the top of the interface. Did it create any problem for the repository interface? Here, is it creating any problem? See, type means all this annotation, the type is if I have to open this retention policy, please here. Target element is type. Type means it can be applied to a class and a interface. So we don't have a separate element type for a class for an interface. It is generally for type. So automatically any annotation which you can apply to a class can be applied to a interface also. But there is no point. Okay. Because we don't have, it's a concept of core Java actually. We don't have element type separately for a class, separately for interface. It is generally for type. For other than this, we have a different annotation types. Suppose if you have two implementing class, and then which will be called ambiguous based on the qualifier annotation or primary that will be invoked. If you are doing auto wiring, it will be ambiguous auto wiring. It's not recommended. It's fine to give small also, Akash. But for a bigger application, they give bigger names to avoid the ambiguity, because lot of codes will be there, lot of files will be present. Are you starting any course on AWS? There is a plan. I will confirm in 2 weeks of time, Suresh. Anil, I will search your answer for tomorrow. But according to me right now, based on what we have discussed, based on your question, which I have understood, whatever I've discussed in the previous application, no, that is a solution. By giving the request mapping annotation only, we can differentiate. By having two different controllers and by using the request mapping annotation, you can differentiate. But single controller class, is there any condition as such that it should be in single controller class also? Class URL mapping also should be same. We can use that by using the request mapping only. That's a way to differentiate, but we will see to it. Okay. Maybe I'll discuss that in the class. Sir, could you please share the email ID where we can send the assignment? connect@telesco.com. We have a team which will see for it. All right, guys, if no more questions, thank you for joining me in today's class. Lot to be discussed. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 3 days we have a class on the web only. And next week, we shall start with the RESTful services. And the remaining all the concept of Spring Boot will be discussed under the umbrella of RESTful services itself. So thank you so much for joining me in today's class. We shall meet tomorrow exactly 7 a.m. and continue the journey of web application with Spring Web MVC module. Thank you so much for joining me in today's class. Thank you, every one of you. Is there class on Friday? Suresh, actually Friday I am not available. I'll not be able to take the class. But Naveen sir was talking to take one class or have a community session. So most probably on Friday, you may have a topic which is taken by Naveen sir, or we can have a community session, group project making, or such things might happen on Friday. but I am not available on Friday to take a class.